currently living in a hotel with 5 children. It's very stressful.
Down a dark hallway and within the confines of a single room,
Really struggling, trying to figure out how we are going to do this.
this Richmond mother says she barely scrapes up enough money to pay the nightly rates. The thought of being unable to shelter her kids ever present.
It's constantly fears. It's constantly worries. It's crying. Like I have to step out of the room to go down into the lobby because I don't want to shed tears, so many tears in front of my children.
But this wasn't always home. She was a resident of Richmond Redevelopment and Housing Authority's Gilpin Court until she was evicted in January. She's asked that we keep her identity a secret, saying she fears her children could be bullied if it's known that they're homeless. But she did provide me a stack of documents related to her case. It began in May of last year when she received this notice that RRHA was terminating her lease. The reason they cited states, on or about May 18th, 2023, your juvenile son robbed someone on RHA property with a gun.
When she came to my home that morning and said I had 72 hours to go, I told her, well, I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna take this to court.
Court records show her son was arrested and charged with robbery and using a firearm to commit a felony. But in July, the Commonwealth Attorney's Office null-prossed the charges, meaning they were essentially dismissed but could be brought back.
Wasn't found guilty at all, no evidence at all, but I still was considered in lease violation.
When I inquired about what evidence did or did not exist, RHA said they received information about the alleged incident from a third party, and Commonwealth's attorney Colette McKeechan said she could not comment. But the juvenile's defense attorney, Julia Snyder, said there was no physical evidence. She said the case relied upon an accusation from one young witness who did not show up in court, leading prosecutors to let the charges go. Despite that outcome, RHA moved forward with the eviction process. Their lease states that a criminal conviction is not required to enforce a violation.
You are innocent until proven guilty.
Tracy Harney-Scott, the housing chair for the Richmond NAACP, worked on this family's case and raises questions about RHA's policy.
I am really afraid for anybody, not just RRHA, that has the authority to override what the law actually says.
The mother was able to buy some time with her eviction hearing pushed back from June to November. Then in August, her ledger shows that RHA raised her monthly rent by more than $100, despite the tenant claiming she did not report a change in income.
I couldn't even explain to you, this is why this is what it was, this is why this is what it was, because there was no explanations.
RHA did not specifically answer why they adjusted her rent in the midst of eviction proceedings, but said generally changes are due to corrections, prorating, or application of late fees. Regardless, the tenant admits that she fell behind on her payments, and in September, she received another notice of lease termination.
I just didn't have it at the time because I only have one income.
She applied for financial assistance from RHA's nonprofit partner Home, which indicated that they could help, but then later denied her due to, quote, a lease violation. When her court date arrived, she says RHA brought her son's accuser to testify about the alleged criminal offense, and a judge ruled in favor of the housing authority. The mother requested a rehear and appeal and to file a grievance, but all her efforts were unsuccessful.
So then at that point, I reached out to the authority to see if there was anything that we can do to prevent this family from being evicted.
But Harney-Scott says that RHA told her no.
I honestly think that more diligence should have been done.
And then the day came that this family was forced out.
It was raining. The weather was bad.
In fact, she says they were evicted earlier than expected because RHA closed its office due to the weather. CBS 6 confirmed there were storms in the area that day, and Harney Scott tells us that even led her to pay for the family to stay in a hotel, just like the one they live in now. And while RHA tells me they stand behind their evictions process, this mom says she felt the odds were stacked against her.
I felt alone. I felt that I knew for a fact I wasn't gonna win because it was just me. It was hard. It was very hard. But I was gonna fight until I couldn't fight anymore. And that's what I did. Even though I had to do it alone, I did it. And I still ended up in the street.
RHA declined an interview and said they could not speak about individual residents, but they say they have several rights as a landlord to enforce a lease, including when a tenant fails to pay rent and when a tenant has complaints of willful or criminal acts that endanger the safety of a community. Now, at the time of this resident's eviction, her ledger shows that she owed almost $1,900. RHA has previously said that they're only evicting those with the most egregious balances. They tell me that this balance did fall into that category. In Richmond, I'm Tyler Layne, CBS 6 News.